Hello, my friend, and welcome to Pro Wrestling Daily. My name is Aaron Machbitz. So Wrestlemania weekend has officially come to an end. We had NXT Stand and Deliver, night 1 of Wrestlemania, night 2 of Wrestlemania, and the always very popular Raw after Mania. So now we can finally sort of take a collective deep breath and think about what happened, think about our favorite moments, think about why we love wrestling so much, think about, again, our favorite moments from any of the events or any indie shows you might have watched or any WWE shows or TNA moments or anything that we loved about WrestleMania weekend, because it's so cool that this happens. It's so cool that so many professional wrestling fans come to the same place once a year for this historic, sort of weekend event and events. And let's just take a collective deep breath together and just remember why we love this thing of professional wrestling. And then, of course, let's talk about what's happening. Let's talk about some storylines, what's going to happen in the future, things that we might think are going to happen, some rumors, some predictions, some post-Raw WrestleMania week reactions. So we did see the Raw after Mania. As always, every year, it's one of the best and biggest shows of the year, especially for Monday Night Raws now on Netflix. And we saw sort of the most pivotal thing that happened all the way from WrestleMania Night 1 main event, right? We saw Seth Rollins align himself with Paul Heyman. Now, Seth Rollins has been pushed since his debut, since he came on the scene with the Shield, but he hasn't been pushed as the guy. Now, will this happen? It seems to be that way, that he's being pushed as the guy, which I love. I'm a huge fan of Seth Rollins. I think he's been highly underrated almost his entire career, and he's carried the company for a very long time. His sort of grievances with CM Punk are very true and hold a lot of power. Yes, Roman Reigns is still probably the biggest ticket mover, as Triple H stated, but maybe now we're pushing Seth Rollins as the guy. That was the biggest moment from WrestleMania Night 1, and now we see it sort of play out on Raw after Mania when, Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman are out there. Then now Braun Breaker is in alignment with those guys, which we knew that backstage Paul Heyman was deeply working with Braun Breaker to get him ready for a main event push. That's why he lost the Intercontinental Championship to Dominic Mysterio. And I had predicted that in 2025 he was going to break out. And this seems like it's going to be very, very good for Braun Breaker and very good for this alliance that we have with Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins. That was an absolutely huge moment. We understand now why Paul Heyman was spending so much time with Braun Breaker in backstage moments, in in all of these moments to get him prepared for what this is, a potential, people are saying online, Evolution 2.0. I think that's cool. I think just the alliance of pushing Seth Rollins as the guy and Paul Heyman guys, and because Seth Rollins in his promos leading up to WrestleMania was talking about wanting to save professional wrestling, and I think he just loves it so much that rings true. And so who could you potentially add to this group to make it even bigger? Well, I think there's 3 options that would be really, really good to sort of round out this group, this alliance, this Evolution 2.0. You have Rollins, you have Braun Breaker, you have Paul Heyman. I think Carmelo Hayes, Ethan Page, or Austin Theory would all be really, really good additions to this group. And you could potentially also add a female member, which could be Becky Lynch, as we saw turn heel on Monday night. I have some further thoughts on that, but those are sort of the options potentially moving forward to round out this group and really solidify them as a powerhouse in WWE moving forward, and potentially have Seth Rollins be the guy. Could he be the guy to dethrone John Cena or dethrone Jey Uso? Those are potential questions moving forward, because we know that John Cena's stated goal and stated aim is to destroy wrestling, so that professional wrestling has to start over in December after he is done. Well, Seth Rollins' now stated goal of this group is to save professional wrestling. So will John Cena have a group? Will he have other members of his group join? Will we see some sort of clash there between John Cena and Seth Rollins? Or will Seth Rollins be strictly feuding with CM Punk and Roman Reigns and potential other members of that group? So we have a lot of options moving forward about how potentially this could lead to a Survivor Series match or potentially a War Games match. All of this stuff is very, very exciting. Now, I mentioned Becky Lynch. I did not like the heel turn. I thought that was rushed, didn't make any sense. Bayley talked about it in a podcast recently with Chris Van Vliet that she doesn't think she is she's on the level of Charlotte and Becky Lynch. I think that's absolutely wrong. I appreciate the humility of Bayley, but she's one of the best women's wrestlers ever. She's a living legend and is definitely absolutely on par and on level with those two professional wrestlers. Now, I would have loved to see Bayley perform at WrestleMania in that tag team match. You have them just lose the tag titles or not win that match. Raquel and Liv Morgan keep the titles. Then maybe you have a rematch on Monday Night Raw, and then you have Becky Lynch return there attacking both members. I think that would have been better. Instead, you have them win and then lose and then turn heel and then all these sorts of moving pieces. It just seems a little rushed, and you also take the spotlight away from Bayley, which I don't appreciate. I think she deserved to be at WrestleMania. She's one of the best to do it. She's a living legend. I think what would have been better potentially is, you can have Becky team with Lyra. That's a great, have that whole thing still happen, but you have Bayley versus Roxanne at WrestleMania, which would have been awesome as well. And I think those are the sort of the biggest pressing issues on this Raw after Mania. I'm going to keep diving deeper into these storylines as we move forward, because right now we have just like a little break until Friday Night SmackDown, until again Monday Night Raw, where we can sort of dive into these topics and these storylines a little bit deeper about what might happen with professional wrestling moving forward with the John Cena, with Cody Rhodes, with Seth Rollins. And then The Rock, he went on Pat McAfee and just stated some more Rock-esque bullshit about how he didn't want to be there because he didn't want to take the spotlight away from John Cena. But him not posting, not tweeting, not being there actually does the opposite of what he thinks he was going to do. Him not saying anything at all actually does take the spotlight away from John Cena, because now people are focused on why The Rock wasn't there, and he has the time to go on, Pat McAfee's show, which he probably wasn't originally planning on going on, but he probably got a call from TKO saying you got to do some damage control and go on Pat McAfee and explain what happened. Travis Scott just being there at the Night 2 WrestleMania was horrible. The Rock should have been there. He hasn't been there since Elimination Chamber. Everything since post WrestleMania 40 has been very weird and awful and kind of not making any sense for The Rock. And so maybe it'll be rounded out, maybe it won't be. But we can now know that Randy Orton and John Cena will have a match, most likely at Backlash. I don't think Randy Orton is going to win there. You have to think that Cody Rhodes is going to want his revenge, is going to want his rematch at some point. So there's all those moving pieces there. We know that Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton have a ton of history, and they haven't really touched yet. And so I'd love to see that happen. What's the Randy Orton-John Cena feud going to be like? You can't really count on The Rock to be anywhere to do anything, to round out his storylines, to make something make sense. Nothing he's done has been logical since the Raw on Netflix debut, and I'm kind of disappointed in that fact, considering if he knows his schedule, he knows his commitments, then make sure that these things line up and you can do actually the things that you say you're going to do. Don't steal someone's soul and then disappear for the sake of whatever, right? We could have had John Cena's heel turn at WrestleMania, at Night 2 of the main event. That would have been incredible. Then there's no need for The Rock. There's no need for this weird Travis Scott thing. And so I think that would have been a little bit better, but we are where we are. We have to accept the reality as it is. And I know things are going to be awesome moving forward, because now you got Randy Orton and John Cena, and that's just unbelievable. You got potentially a Roman Reigns, CM Punk have to partnership on this new Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker alliance. You have the women's division being absolutely on fire with all the things they're doing right now. And Rusev is back. Aleister Black might return soon. Like, all of these things are moving in the right direction. And Jey Uso is the new champion. Like, if you doubted Jey Uso at all, and you watched the Raw after Mania, the reaction he got was incredible. You could see the joy and almost tears come out of Sami Zayn's face. Like, that's just a beautiful, beautiful moment of a culmination of hard work, meaning you can chase your dreams and things can happen for you if you work your ass off. Jey Uso is a testament to that. He proved me wrong as a doubter. Now I'm in line. Jey Uso, let's go. Who's going to be his first challenger? We absolutely love the fact that Gunther crashed out. An unhinged Gunther is the best kind of Gunther. It's the best kind, choking out everyone he sees in sight. Will we see a Gunther-Pat McAfee match? If we do, it's just Gunther beating the absolute shit out of him and all of Pat McAfee's goons. I want to see Gunther go forward and maybe chase Jey Uso for a little bit and then see where that can lead. But that's an awesome moment too where Gunther's just crashed out. Jey Uso is fired up. The fans are fired up. So there's so many good things to be excited about moving forward. And so we just have some unanswered questions that are going to be answered as we move forward, as we progress in these storylines. But as always, we love professional wrestling. Let's sink our teeth into it. Let's get intentional about the way we watch it and just enjoy being fans of this beautiful medium and this beautiful art form. So like always, comment down below your thoughts, your questions, anything you want answered or anything you think might happen. Then like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this video and this channel with every single professional wrestling fan you know on the planet as we grow together. And I thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.